We all know what it's like to feel stressed. Stress is a natural part of life, but sometimes stress can become overwhelming and hard to manage. Today is National Stress Awareness Day, and psychiatrist Dr. Joshua Weiner joins us to offer some tips on how to beat back stress in your life. Doc, thanks for being here today. Define this for us first. I think sometimes people confuse stress and anxiety, but there's a difference, right?
There is a difference, but they manifest pretty similarly, right? So both are going to cause things like irritability, hard time sleeping, headaches, stomach aches, chest discomfort, those sorts of things. The difference, the way I see the difference, is that stress is more you're overwhelmed. You have too much on your plate, too many things to do, not enough time. You clearly understand where these feelings are coming from. With anxiety, it's more nebulous. You're thinking to yourself, why am I feeling this way? Or you recognize that there's something that you're worried about, but you know there's no reason for you to be worried about it. It's unnecessary worry, but you just can't control it. But ultimately, the way it sort of manifests is the same.
Okay. So you can have chronic stress. What are some of the big sort of emotional and other effects of having chronic stress?
So the biggest thing really is when you're chronically stressed, you have elevations in something called cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And that is just not good for you in the long term. And one of the main things that it does is it just beats down your immune system. So if you're chronically stressed, you're going to be much more likely to get sick. And then, of course, there's all these emotional components, things that I just mentioned, particularly the irritability and how that then impacts just your day-to-day functioning.
So let's talk management then. What do you suggest to people who need to figure out ways to manage their stress?
Well, first thing first is that you need to look at where your stress is coming from, right? Maybe you need to make some lifestyle changes. So you've got to realize life does not change without you changing the way you live your life.
Gotcha.
You really have to think, what am I doing that I can change to make my life better? Maybe I need to start saying no a little bit more. Maybe I need to start training people how to treat me, sort of setting what we call boundaries with people. So you're not having people who are doing things and treating you in ways that create stress for you. So those are a couple things. Maybe you need to start saying, you know what? I really need to stop having my kids involved in so many activities because I'm spending my weekends just shuttling them all over the place and I have no downtime. So that's one thing. That's like sort of a macro picture. And then from sort of a day-to-day management of stress, and on top of that, one of the most helpful things, obviously, exercise, sleep, eating healthy, and just deep breathing. It sounds kind of cheesy, I think, to say slow down and breathe deeply, but we do have plenty of data to show that slow, deep breathing, something called 5-2-5 breathing. Breathe in for a count of 5, hold for a count of 2, breathe out for a count of 5. That controls the calming part of your nervous system, and that'll calm you down.
Sounds like you're moving into that space of meditation and trying to kind of handle the internal stuff along with all those external factors.
Exactly. So meditation is a great tool. If there's one skill that people should learn to learn how to manage stress, in particular learn how to improve their sleep, it's meditation. There are some really great apps out there. The two that I often recommend to patients are Calm or Headspace. We're not talking about becoming a yogi and having to spend hours a day. We're talking about just 10 minutes once or twice a day. Over time will yield benefits.
So it doesn't become a stressor too. You can just, it's a little bit of management there. Dr. Weiner, we appreciate the advice. Thanks.
My pleasure.